Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the City of Progress, Waukegan, Illinois. Today, yes, thank you. Today, as the mayor of Waukegan, it is my deep, deep honor to have so many of our elected officials here at Cristo de Rey College Prep School. As I look around this room, I see so many of our neighboring mayors and elected officials here. But I'd like to first welcome our Governor, J.B. Pritzker, to Lake County and Waukegan. Governor, we're so honored that you're here today. One never really knows what obstacles they can face when in a public service. And if there's one man that could identify with that statement, it would be our governor. Pre-pandemic, March 2020 was a difficult world, or a different world. But still, through all the challenges, sadness, loss of life, there remains hope for Illinois and our families. Governor, we are so thankful and grateful for your service during these trying times. One of the greatest joys I have as mayor of Waukegan is spending time with our youngest leaders. And Cristo de Rey St. Martin College Prep is full of promising and emerging leaders. I see them often interning at Waukegan City Hall or participating in community activities like our Earth Week celebrations last month. We saw them participating all over the city in all 9 wards. This is an inspiring day for Lake County, as the governor will tell us about necessary stormwater infrastructure upgrades through our county. Infrastructure isn't always exciting or beautiful, but believe it or not, it's really popular. You know, it's one of those things that we don't necessarily see, but we take for granted. And again, I just want to welcome our governor and everyone here today. Thank you so much for being part of Waukegan. Thank you. And at this time, I'd like to introduce our governor, J.B. Pritzker. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much to Mayor Taylor. Thanks to the school for hosting us. This is really a terrific day. And I want to thank our county board chair here in Lake County, Sandy Hart, who's always very welcoming and also is a great voice for Lake County. I always hear from her what she needs, and from the state reps and state senators that represent you. And they have a great deal of influence on me and in Springfield, and I'm grateful to hear from them on a regular basis. When I became governor 3 years ago, Illinois had not passed a capital bill in almost a decade. The local leaders sitting here with me today, know what happens when the state doesn't invest in the basics. Infrastructure crumbles. Our future growth slows. Businesses and families see fewer reasons to call Illinois and Lake County their home. Our Rebuild Illinois capital plan is all about turning that ship around. It's one of the largest infrastructure investments anywhere in the nation, and it's the largest infrastructure project and program in state history. Today, 2.5 years since I signed this bill into law, Rebuild Illinois has repaired and replaced over 3,500 miles of roads and nearly 350 bridges statewide. We're funding electric buses for cleaner transit systems and sewage systems for under-resourced communities who didn't otherwise have a sustainable or sanitary option. In fact, Rebuild Illinois will invest over $800 million into Lake County alone. And that includes renovations at the College of Lake County and Rosalind Franklin Medical School, to adding lanes to Illinois 131, to supporting all kinds of community improvements like the Route 66 bike path, more accessible sidewalks, and smoothing local roads. These are state dollars that allow Lake County to reallocate its local dollars for other parts of the community, critical savings for local property taxpayers. That's the same philosophy that underscores the importance of the investments that we're celebrating today. I'm very proud to announce an additional $30 million to support 14 different critical stormwater projects here in Lake County, the first of which will break ground next week. We all know Lake County is renowned for its natural beauty, but the waterways that make this region such a great place to live require high-quality, efficient infrastructure. By combining federal, state, and local resources, we can truly fulfill that responsibility and in turn strengthen and revitalize your communities. That's what good government looks like. And thanks to Rebuild Illinois, we are making progress on that mission every day. So with that, I want to take the opportunity now to turn it over to really a great leader, an incredible advocate for Lake County, someone who helped bring home the bacon with the federal infrastructure package, and that's our Congressman, Brad Schneider.
Thank you, Governor, and welcome to Illinois' 10th District. I want to call out all of my colleagues, State Senators Bush and Morrison, State Reps, County Board, Chair Hart, everyone here, mayors. This is a great day for all of our communities because we are making the hard choices to invest in our future. Infrastructure is critically important, but it's also something that's easily kicked down the road for other things that are seen as more urgent. As the governor said, it's been more than a decade before we had since we've had a capital budget to invest in the things that are necessary to keep our communities safe and strong. But Governor, I want to thank you because you've made those investments, and with our legislature, our state senators and our state representatives have done it in a fiscally responsible way. $30 million for stormwater management in our communities is the difference between looking up at the skies and knowing the next rain is going to cause damage throughout our communities and looking up and knowing that the rain is going to bring green gardens and beautiful flowers. Our communities deserve to know that we can handle whatever nature is going to throw at us. And that's why this investment is so important. It's why I was proud to make sure that we brought in the investment, not just here with Dady Slough as part of the state, but North Chicago Stormwater and Zion. Federal government's making an investment in addition to the $30 million being talked about today. We brought home $11.5 million to help make sure our communities can deal with the storms as they come. In the last 4 years, we've seen 4 100-year floods. Let me repeat that. 4 100-year storms in 4 years. We know that climate change is causing more intense storms. But by coming together and responsibly investing to build the resiliency and fix our communities, the infrastructure, the roads, the bridges, the stormwater management systems, we know we're going to make our communities better and stronger. So Governor, thank you. To all my colleagues, thank you. And this is a big deal. Glad to be here. Thank you very much. It's now my privilege to call up our Lake County Board Chair, Sandy Hart.
Hi there. Thank you all so much for joining us today. And on behalf of the Lake County Board, several of whom are here today, if you guys could raise your hand, I'd appreciate it because they are a terrific, outstanding team. I want to thank Cristo Rey St. Martin College Prep, President Preston Kendall, and your staff for graciously opening the doors to host this event today. Thank you to Governor Pritzker and your administration, the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity, and especially our federal and state legislators for your investment in Lake County's future. For decades, we have been plagued by flooding. It has become a dreaded pattern for a number of our neighborhoods throughout the county, and it's getting much worse. Thankfully, Lake County has the expertise of the nationally recognized Stormwater Management Commission, who are dedicated to the protection of homes, businesses, schools, roads, and other properties from catastrophic flooding. The promised $30 million investment will directly protect those areas and communities most affected by flooding throughout Lake County. These 14 critical projects will have a tremendous positive impact on the quality of life for our residents who've been devastated by flooding. One of those projects is located right here in the Waukegan Park City area and will benefit more than 800 properties, including Cristo Rey. This is also where the Chicago River begins, and these upgrades will have downstream benefits as well for the Des Plaines River and Cook County. Among other necessary improvements, these funds will be used to create additional floodwater storage and wetland restoration. Importantly, once this project is complete, the wetlands will be turned over to Cristo Rey so they can be used as a beautiful, real-life outdoor lab. Cristo Rey students can engage in hands-on learning about wetlands, sustainability, and stormwater management right outside their back door. These students are our next generation of leaders and will learn firsthand how they can become stewards of the watershed and be instilled with the importance of protecting our environment for the future. We know that the flooding and the damage from it is growing, and we will not kick the can down the road any longer, as Congressman Schneider said. Thank you again to Governor Pritzker and your team, as well as our state and federal legislative partners, for allocating this funding to improve the stormwater infrastructure throughout Lake County and tackling these critical needs head on. I also want to give a special thanks to our own Stormwater Management Commission and everyone here today for your extraordinary commitment in serving the residents of Lake County. And it is now my pleasure to introduce my friend and awesome State Senator, Julie Morrison.
Good morning. What a great way to start a week. And thank you, Governor Pritzker, for being here with us this morning. It's so appropriate after 2+ weeks of continuous rain and no sunshine, when some of us thought about building an ark or looking for paddles in the garage, that today the sun's out and we have this amazing announcement. The 29th district is going to, which is the district I represent, will be benefiting from some of these projects, and specifically health and public safety and protecting property values. No one likes to have their home or their business flood. And lastly, the economic development that I'm sure will be spurred by making these improvements. I'm delighted to be part of this morning and would like to now introduce my colleague and friend, Senator Melinda Bush.
Don't touch the mic. Sorry, when you're short, you want to adjust it, and I'm afraid it'll fall, so we'll just leave it. I just want to thank Governor Pritzker today. I want to thank you for having the vision and the courage to create a capital bill second to none, so that we have these dollars to make these infrastructure improvements, not just in Lake County, but across the state. I grew up in this county, as I'm sure many of you, and for years we've watched the flooding, particularly where we're at right now. I mean, someone said something to me earlier about WKRS and WXLC, which becomes a pond every year and is always, underwater in the spring. We've seen our schools flood. We've seen our homes flood. But this is really about investments in the future. Congressman Schneider talked about the fact that we had 4 100-year rains in the last 10 years. Who hasn't seen their neighbor's home flood? Who hasn't seen a business flood? Who hasn't seen the damage that is done by that? So today, we announced this $30 million influx of dollars that is so important to this county. We are Lake County. That means about 20% of our land is already covered by rivers, lakes, and streams. So the dry land that we have has to act as a place to store that stormwater. I'm so excited about these projects. I look forward to it, and I hope that I don't see anyone kayaking in the back of this building ever again. But truly, thank you to Governor Pritzker. Thank you to our Lake County Stormwater Management. You have been doing the work on the ground for years, and the improvements show. Anyway, thank you so much. Thank you, Governor Pritzker, again, for having the vision and for investing in Lake County. We're so excited to have this money coming to Lake County. And I get to introduce State Representative Rita Mayfield. This is her district, and I'm sure she is truly, truly grateful.
Is it morning or afternoon? Good morning, everyone. You lose track of time here. I just want to thank all of you for taking the time to come. I'd like to thank Crystal Ray St. Martin, of course, for hosting us in this beautiful, beautiful school that they have. Today is just overwhelming. This is a wonderful thing. For those individuals who've been in my community, and I serve Waukegan, North Chicago, Gurnee, Park City, and we flood every single year. The devastation for the families every single year is just, it's horrible. Under the previous administration and the administration before that, this area has been declared a national disaster area time and time again. Thanks to the leadership of Governor Pritzker, we will no longer be at the mercy of Mother Nature. Thanks to the leadership of Governor Pritzker, all right? Yes. We will no longer see, and it is my prayer that we no longer see, sandbags lined up down Grand Avenue trying to hold the water back. We will no longer see mountains of personal belongings out in the front yards, people's homes, you know, things that they have collected over the years, those family memories out on the curves, gone, lost forever. You know, through his leadership and through the leadership of my colleagues in the House, who I have to shout out, Rep. Yingling, Dittich, Mason, Morgan, I truly appreciate them standing up and saying, we need to do this, let's go after these funds, let's talk with the governor, let's make this happen. And through the House delegation, we were able to make this happen so that my district, their district, and all the other districts that have been negatively affected will no longer have to be subjected to that type of devastation. We have a governor that actually listens and takes action. And we have to be so thankful for him. An additional $30 million into our infrastructure will make all the difference in the world to the citizens of Gurnee. I live in Gurnee. I know that devastation. I used to live in Waukegan. We had a pond at the end of our street every single year. When our basement flooded, we lost precious memories that my mother could never retrieve. That devastation, our family members will no longer have to go through, thanks to our governor. Can we give it up once again for Governor J.B. Pritzker? Thank you, Governor. Thank you for believing in the people. Thank you for making a difference. Thank you for standing up for our communities. Thank you so much. And with that, I'm going to bring up my colleague, Representative Sam Yingling.
Well, thank you everyone for being here today. Today marks a huge achievement for the residents of Lake County and our future prosperity. As we continue to grapple with the effects of climate change, we are reminded how critical it is to have appropriate infrastructure to manage these challenges. Towards the end of session in 2020, an opportunity presented itself to secure regional capital money to address the increasing flooding events in the county. The Lake County House delegation, I want to give a shout out to Representative Mason, Representative Mayfield, Representative Dittich, Representative Morgan, and Representative Carroll. We came together to request, negotiate, and secure these funds. Lake County and the Stormwater Management Agency, or Commission of Lake County, were amazing partners in helping craft a plan that will ensure investment of these funds into all regions of the county. During the final hours of session in 2020, they tirelessly worked with us, responding to late night emails, phone calls, and developing multiple paths to achieve our mutual goals. These capital funds were initially supposed to roll out over the next decade. However, the Lake County Legislative Delegation worked together to secure funds to accelerate the funding of these projects. I'd like to thank my legislative colleagues and Governor Pritzker for being such a wonderful advocate for capital investment, Stormwater Management Commission and Lake County, and all of our local partners for supporting these initiatives to improve the quality of life for our mutual constituents. This is truly a testament to what government can do for the people when we all work together. And now I would like to introduce my friend and colleague, Representative Dan Dittich.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. Thank you, Governor Pritzker, for joining us here in Waukegan. This is a wonderful opportunity to celebrate what is now almost the third anniversary of when we passed the Rebuild Illinois Act. You may remember back in 2019, it was my first session in the legislature. It was Governor Pritzker's first session as governor. It was not a guarantee we would be here today celebrating these amazing projects. You may remember we were doing a lot of big things that year. We raised the minimum wage, passed the Reproductive Health Act, legalized cannabis. We were trying to pass a budget that would reverse the damage of 4 years of destruction from the previous administration. It was not a guarantee we were going to get to the capital plan. But because of Governor Pritzker's leadership, he knew how important this would be, not just for our community in Lake County, but for the entire state. So we're here today celebrating some very important projects, especially in my district. We have Mayor Steve Pinnell here today from Park City, going to get one of the first storm mitigation projects just down the street here. It's going to be a big win for Park City. I remember in 2019, I was going door to door getting my petition signatures in Park City, and I wouldn't say I was walking as much as I was sloshing, because there was the sidewalks and the streets were just filled with water. So this is going to be a big win for Park City. We also have big projects coming in the village of Mundelein, a big overpass on Route 6083, which everyone in Mundelein is very excited for. In Buffalo Grove, we're having projects to renew some prairie lands, some rebuilding some sidewalks, some boardwalks. Very big win around the Prairie School and the Ivy Hall areas in Buffalo Grove. So very pleased so many people are here today and that we're here to celebrate with Governor Pritzker. The next person I would like to introduce, my good friend, Representative Bob Morgan. And something you need to know about Bob Morgan is, so we passed this bill initially in 2019. Like Sam said, we got the money in 2020. One thing I've learned in Springfield, sometimes it's easy to get projects into the budget. It's getting the money out of the budget and getting it in the hands of our local officials. And over the past year, Representative Morgan on our House side has taken the lead with, I don't want to say agitating, but advocating to get this money released. So please give it up for Representative Morgan.
Good morning. My name is Bob Morgan. I'm the state representative for the 58th District. It is so great to be with everyone this morning. This is a very, very exciting day that many of us have worked for a long time. It's an honor to be here today addressing an urgent issue affecting and impacting families from all backgrounds throughout Lake County. Thanks to Governor Pritzker, who really made this happen. We're so grateful for him, and especially my colleagues who, Representative Yingling described the story accurately, my amazing colleagues from Lake County, Representative Dittich, Carroll, Mayfield, Yingling. Did I get everybody? Mason, who's not here today. Representative Mason could not be here today, but she also made this happen and deserves all the credit. And we are delivering today $30 million for our communities. It's $30 million just to dedicate to addressing flooding in our communities. It's truly remarkable. One of my colleagues, Lake County Board Member Paul Frank, described this accurately as a once-in-a-generation investment in our community. This initial investment of $30 million, and it's going to increase to $122 million in the coming years. We're going to fully fund our Lake County Stormwater Project Management. This is amazing, and it will target 14 projects, as you heard, across our county. And flooding can be devastating, not just for families because of their property values going down, but keeping them up at night at the first rainfall. Really, it can. It can keep them up at night. It can destroy family belongings, as you heard from Representative Mayfield. It can uproot their lives. And this is extraordinary investment in our communities will be a blessing for my district and for so many others. I also want to recognize some of my mayors who are here today. I see Mayor Rockingham, Mayor Rotering, both who are in the front line of addressing these issues. And it's really just a tremendous opportunity for so many of our communities in desperate need for this money. So let's get those shovels in the ground and start removing flooding from our towns. So also last, I'm going to introduce our Executive Director from Lake County Stormwater Management, but I also want to give a shout out to Mike Warner, who I see in the crowd, who also worked very, very hard to develop this plan to protect our community. So with that, happy to present and introduce Kurt Wolford, the Executive Director of Lake County Stormwater Management.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. And thank you, Rep. Morgan, for all your support and guidance over the last 2 years. That strategy to get the funds from the budget, that's what we're trying to figure out as well, and thank you for the support. This is a once-in-a-generation opportunity for Lake County. Investing in Lake County's infrastructure is important, and July 2017 is an event that many of us will not forget. That was a record-breaking flood event that destroyed and impacted many homes throughout Lake County, thousands. And that really opened our eyes to where the problems are, and it's county-wide. It's not just in one watershed, it's in all our watersheds across the entire region. But what was good about that event is it stress-tested our infrastructure, and we identified the problems, and we know where the improvements can be made. Lake County is called Lake County for a reason. We have over 170 lakes, wetlands, and water bodies. These are our natural drainage systems. We have over 400 miles of streams and rivers that drain our watersheds, 60,000 acres of wetlands, and then add in all the culverts and storm sewers. This is our drainage system. And although thousands of homes were damaged, we know where these problems are. And with the professional help of the Stormwater Management Commission staff, who I'd like to give a big round of applause for, who's going to be doing most of the work, and we will be busy. So thank you to Governor Pritzker, thank you to the state and local and federal legislators, thank you everybody for making stormwater management an important investment in not only Lake County, but for the region, for all the downstream communities. And with that, I'd like to introduce the chairman of the Stormwater Management Commission, Don Schmidt.
Thank you. I wear two hats. One's as a mayor, so I see many of my fellow mayors here. Would you guys stand up for a second so everyone can see that how much support we have for this? All right, thank you. I'm going to put on my stormwater hat now. You've heard it many times today. Thank you, Governor Pritzker, and all our state legislators, local partners, and Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity. Can't be overstated how important this is to our region. There's probably not a better place on earth to raise a family, earn a living, and enjoy the beauty God has given us than Lake County, Illinois. As the chairman of the Stormwater Management Commission, we greatly appreciate the state's funding commitment to improve water quality, reduce flood damages, and enhance the natural drainage of our region. As Kurt said, we're called Lake County for a reason. We have 4 watersheds and 2 major rivers. And while we have the many benefits of the lakes, rivers, state parks, and forest preserves, we are vulnerable to flooding. With the climate change and increased precipitation, these floods have occurred more frequently in the recent years. When the flooding occurs, many aspects of daily life are affected. Our economy suffers, quality of life is also affected for those in the flood zones. Our goal as stormwater management is to benefit the entire region. In phase 1, 14 projects were selected. These projects address the highest stormwater management needs from Antioch to Fox Lake to Lake Forest and extending to all corners of the county. One project you've heard a little bit about is on the site we're standing here where we're standing right now. The major roads, Washington Street and 120, flood. Thousands of people are affected when it flood, going to work, patronizing businesses, which affects our economy. I'll talk about the project in my watershed, Norwood Subdivision. It's a great example of how these funds will affect the quality of life for hundreds of residents. During a flood event, the roads are impassable. Residents are unable to drive to their homes. In addition to not being able to get to their homes, mail delivery, school lunches, medicine deliveries, home care, school buses, and refuse service is also discontinued. Public safety, like the police and fire, have to use alternate vehicles to enter the neighborhood. With the funding we're being provided from DECO, access for all these essential services will be possible. While flooding is still going to occur, these funds allow us to be able to shorten the duration and lessen the economic impact of the flooding on our businesses and improve the quality of life for our residents. For this, we are very grateful. Thank you from all of us, and it's my great pleasure to introduce Director Garcia. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I'm also short, like Senator Bush. I'm just going to touch it a little bit. There we go. Good morning, everyone. My name is Sylvia Garcia, and I'm the director of the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity, or DCO. And I'm happy to say I'm the last speaker, so I will be brief. A thank you to all the representatives, leaders, and officials from all levels of government that are here with us today for this very important announcement. Stormwater infrastructure may not be something that we think about every day, but it helps protect against flooded roads, flooded homes, damage from heavy rainstorms, and environmental erosion. Like most infrastructure, we notice it's the most when it isn't working, which is why the work of Governor Pritzker's historic Rebuild Illinois Capital Program is so important. Investing real dollars to build and upgrade roads, bridges, stormwater infrastructure, and so much more to keep our infrastructure working for Illinoisans all across our great state of Illinois. Today's $30 million investment will have a major impact on communities across Lake County as they fortify their critical stormwater infrastructure. These projects will not only improve quality of life, but will also grow our Illinois economy, creating good-paying construction jobs and having a multiplier effect for the communities here in Lake County. At DCO, we work to attract and retain employers across the state, and we know that good infrastructure is one of the things that makes Illinois a great place to live, work, and do business. Under Governor Pritzker's leadership, we are making capital investments across the state and right here in Lake County to bring more jobs to Illinois and keep our economy growing. Thank you very much for your time today, and I'll bring Governor Pritzker back up to the mic. Thank you.
Happy to take any questions from members of the media. I'm not sure I've seen anybody writing fast and furiously.
All right, thanks everyone.
All right, thank you everyone.